link outs that we have for you guys if you're looking to connect with some of the things that we're talking about. So make sure that you visit Yammer for this. So with that, Anna, if you want to go to the next slide, we're going to introduce ourselves here in a second. But just before we kind of dive in, I just want to remind you guys that because you are Medtronic employees, there are so many things at your fingertips that will help you with self-care and a lot of the things that we're going to be talking with you guys today. And a lot of these things are held on our Healthier Together platform. So whether you're using the app or going to the website, so just a couple things, making sure that you're signed up. And if you're not, you can still do that. We're going to talk about that a little bit later, but that is a mindfulness tool that we have that's anything from 60 seconds all the way up to 20 minutes, depending on what you're looking for. Journeys, we have that takes these healthy habits a little bit further. It's kind of like a personalized health check coach right alongside with you. So again, we'll be talking about these a little bit more, and these are on the slides for you, but just know that you have so many things for you right here just because you are a Medtronic employee. So next slide. All right, so today, self-care, this is what we are here for. And I don't know about you guys, but this is a hot topic right now, and it is something that is oftentimes looked over. So that's what we're here just to dive in a little bit today about what self-care is, what it's not, the different types of self-care. We're going to give you guys some tools and ideas of what you can do to bring it into your life. And also just to let you know, there are going to be some things. We have a poll question coming up and a few other interactive things that we'd love to hear from you just to make this a really personal experience. So we're going to introduce ourselves. There's a few of us that are going to be speaking with you guys today. So my name is Amanda Patterson. I'm the senior manager of our wellness centers, and I also work on our global Healthier Together platform as well. But I've been around Medtronic on the wellness team for a total of 10 years. And this topic is so crucial for me. I kind of started my own personal self-care journey really about 5 years ago after struggling with anxiety and high stress my whole life since I was a kid. So I'm really happy to be here talking to you guys about this today. Anna, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Anna Green, and I am the Wellbeing Program Manager, and I've been with Medtronic for almost 2 years now, and I'm still recently out of grad school for only about 2 years, so I'm getting married in March, so I'm kind of dealing with a lot of stress and anxiety, as we all are right now too. Definitely things I've never experienced in my life before, so I'm having to find all these new techniques and ways to cope with the world that we're living in. So I can't wait to tell you all about it more. Laura, go ahead.
All right, thanks, Anna. My name is Laura Heyman, and I'm one of the well-being specialists along with Anna. And I'm super excited to be with you all today and talk about this with my team. I am a mom and a wife. I have 2 kiddos, 7 and 5. And so you can imagine my life is a little crazy and a little stressful at times. And so, of course, all of the moms out there can vouch to that. And yeah, I'm really excited to be with you all.
It would be useful to brainstorm it.
And just please make sure everyone has their microphones muted. I'm only able to mute a few people. It's not letting me mute everybody. So thank you.
All right, so I'm the first one up to talk. So why self-care matters. I'm a better person when So just think about the things that make you feel happy, joyful, and excited. And say this statement out loud or to yourself. I'm a better person when And so we want you all to share. Now, if you don't feel comfortable unmuting your microphone, you can type it in the chat feature. So I'll go first. I'm a better person when I get at least 8 hours of sleep per night. And also, I'm a better person when I have quality time with my husband without our kids. So I'll just give everyone a moment again, write it in the chat feature, or you can unmute yourself and let us all know. Oh, some great ones. Yes. Nature, meditating, long runs. Oh, fabulous. Great. Awesome. Oh, wonderful ideas.
It's really fun to see how everyone's idea of self-care is so different. So thank you for sharing.
Yes. Great. All right, still write in the chat feature if you'd like. The next thing that we're going to do is take a poll. So it should pop up on your screen here in just a moment. And the poll is, what is your favorite way to practice self-care? Now, I believe we can choose up to 3. Is that correct, Anna?
I think you can choose as many as you'd like.
Okay, fabulous. So just choose whatever you'd like and then press submit, and we'll go over those results together.
Give everyone about 15 more seconds, or once I see everyone complete it. I feel like I'm watching live race results. I can see the results populating in front of me. All right, feel free to participate in the chat. Got about 5 more seconds here. Choose as many options as you'd like.
Oh, great. So it looks like going for a walk is one of our top contenders here. Me time. Wow, a lot of these are great. Family time. Wow, some great choices, friends.
Alrighty, I will stop sharing
Wonderful.
these.
All right, so let's define self-care versus selfish or selfishness. A lot of people confuse the two, so let's talk about what each one means and what causes that confusion. So self-care, the practice of taking action to preserve or improve one's own health, well-being, happiness, and in particular during periods of stress. Selfish is of a person, action, or motive lacking consideration for others, concerned chiefly with one's own personal profit or pleasure. Now, the confusion between the two can cause a lot of guilt, a lot of self-guilt, thinking that you can't have time for yourself because you're trying to help everyone else and you don't want to be selfish. But know that self-care that we all need is very vital to our stress level, everyday life, how beneficial we are at giving care to others. Oftentimes people don't understand what self-care is, and it can look different to each person. Some people, it's taking a physical action, maybe going for a run, and for others, it's mental action, meditation, having some alone time. And so we just wanted to really talk about self-care versus selfish to give a better understanding to all of you. All right, types of self-care. So a lot of times people are thinking of just the physical side, but there's physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, financial. And so of course, physical, we know as exercise, nutrition, rest, and sleep. And so some questions you can ask yourself is, do I honor my body with exercise and nutrition? What is my current stress level? How well do I sleep? Emotional, friendships, feelings, and emotions. Is there anything I'm feeling fear or anxiety about today? Are my relationships healthy, life-giving, and productive? Or are there any experiences in my past that I kind of negatively leaking into my leadership? Mental, thoughts, self-compassion, accept. What issues, topics, or challenges receive most of your mental energy? And how much compassion are you giving yourself? I think a lot of us, it's fair to say that we are so hard on ourselves versus others. Spiritual self-care, prayer, worship, purpose. Is my spiritual life a priority to me? And financial, budget, priorities, planning. Is my spending aligning with my income and priorities? Is there anything I need to stop, change, or start spending money on?
Device clinics. So we have
Okay, so some stereotypes of self-care. Self-care does not have to be expensive. So, of course, massage, hair and nail care, all of these are great examples, but we need to know that there's also a mental side to this. It's not only physical, but mental. Not everyone thinks about mental forms of self-care and what we can do at work or at home that's completely free. All right. Now, Amanda will talk to us about the benefits of self-care.
All right, so before we continue on, I want all of you to close your eyes right now and take 3 really deep breaths. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. You can even keep your eyes closed once you're done with this as I begin to talk, but just to feel that presence that you have inside right now, just by taking a few breaths, feeling that release of stress and knowing that even though you're here in this webinar and that you're present, doesn't mean that your eyes need to be open. You can simply hear my words. And maybe this is even just a little bit deeper, taking your self-care, what you need. I saw a few of you commenting, just saying that this is self-care for you, just stepping away from your job today and being here and learning about self-care. So kudos for you. Take this in for yourself as we continue on. So some of the benefits of self-care, and again, if you have your eyes closed, I'm just going to ask a couple questions, and maybe these are going to be a couple more reflection questions, but to kind of assess where you're at with your self-care. So do you feel drained at the end of the day to an extent that you feel that you have nothing left to give to your family? Or do you find yourself snapping or yelling at your child and feeling awful afterwards? These are just a couple of signs that you may need to just know that self-care is needed in your life. So again, here, we're just going to talk about some of the benefits of why it is so important, and especially during what we've all been through this last year. Our lives are totally different. We're living with unrest every single day. And you have to find yourself on your priority list and make yourself number one so that you are able to give to everyone else. So number one, you're going to feel balanced. You're going to have that energy left at the end of the day that, we talked about just with that reflection question. If you're tired, maybe it's just your soul. You can't explain it. That's when you know you need self-care. But by giving yourself the self-care, you're not going to feel that way anymore. You're going to have the energy. You're going to feel so much more balanced. Let's talk about work, right? We all want to be more productive. Anyone else feeling a digital burnout right now? You can raise your hand. I can't see you, but it's me. I am so much feeling a digital burnout right now. I would way rather be in a classroom with you guys talking to you than over the computer. But unfortunately, that's not where we're at. So here we are. So just trying to find better ways so that we can be more productive in this digital burnout space. Maybe it is taking that time, if you're leading a meeting, to say you're done 10 minutes early, to give people that freedom, that space to say, go take these 10 minutes for yourself, go breathe, step away from your computer, go lay on your couch, close your eyes, and meditate for 10 minutes, whatever that is. Another huge one, and this one I can speak to personally, but is improving resistance for sickness. So if you are able to give yourself some self-care, your body is naturally going to be able to go in between your fight and flight responses. If not, if you're high strung and tense all the time, you're going to be in fight mode constantly. And what does that do is your immunity suppresses, and now maybe your anxiety and stress is showing off in a physical form. Again, I have had that before and had no clue that it was anxiety and stress, but I also didn't know what self-care was at that time. So learning these different things and these cues about yourself are going to help in so many more ways. Not to mention self-esteem. I mean, wow, you give yourself the freedom and the space and the grace to put yourself first. I can guarantee you that you are going to feel so much better about yourself on a daily basis. And then lastly, someone mentioned it, but you will have more to give to others because you are giving to yourself first. So next slide. This goes a little bit into that. So I just wanted to mention this because I think it's so key. It's key for me personally, but there is a difference between when we're caring out of goodness and then when we can overgive to others. Again, maybe you can raise in your hand at home. Maybe you'll agree with me on some of these things, but when we're healthily caring for others, that means we're healthily caring for ourselves at the same time. So when you care for others, you're going to feel a sense of stress relief because you're feeling like you're doing something good. You're going to be happy to give to others because you have that capacity to do so. It's going to fill your bucket, which we're going to get to buckets here in a little bit. And again, you're just going to feel really good, but you can care for them because you have done something for yourself first. Now, on the flip side, we have overcaring. And maybe you're constantly giving and giving and giving to others. That's going to make you feel burned out. You're going to be tired. You're going to be wondering, why aren't they giving back to me? Why is it always me, right? It could turn into that. Are you a people pleaser? Been there, constantly thinking about what other people are thinking, not focusing on yourself. What did they think? What did they do? I don't know what to think. What do they think? Again, that ties back into that confidence that you're going to have if you give yourself that self-care. A feeling of just being guilty and unworthy. And that is not a fun feeling for anyone to experience. But once we get to these places, we know that it's time to zone in on ourselves. And again, maybe that expectation is there. You're setting the expectations too high, or you're expecting something in return. So again, these are just maybe some triggers to know when you need that self-care in your life, and if you're healthily caring for others or possibly overcaring.
Thanks, Amanda. So now I'll go into a few different stress relief exercises, sort of putting self-care into practice and how you can implement more self-care into your life. And like we mentioned before, it doesn't have to be a week-long trip to the Bahamas, or it doesn't have to be a $300 massage. It can be something as simple as, like Amanda did before, taking 3 deep breaths. I mean, I was really high strung, and after taking those 3 deep breaths, I'm like, oh, wow, yes, this is why we're here. It's so useful. So a few of these techniques, I'm just gonna go through this list, and then I'll break down 2 techniques for you, and we'll run through them. First is meditation. And this can be anything from meditation can be sitting by yourself in silence, or it can be following a guided meditation that follows a script for a particular topic. Grounding, which I'll run you through in a little bit. Gratitude, saying a few things you're grateful for each day, or journaling, writing those down. Going along with journaling is reflection. taking some time to reflect on where you've been, the feelings you've had. And it could be as simple as writing down a few words, or maybe you love to journal and you want to write down a lot more. And even just taking that pause to stop and think about why you're feeling the way you are feeling and see if you can combat that in the future. And positive self-talk and affirmations, changing the words from I should be doing this, I should be eating like this, I shouldn't have had that Frappuccino from Starbucks, I should have had the Americano, to changing I could go for a workout, I could call a friend later on, I could eat some pizza, or I could eat this. And you can make that choice. And talking well about yourself, wishing yourself well, and the effects that will have on your body and on your mind will help increase your self-esteem so much, just by saying, I'm powerful, I'm strong, I'm a mom, I'm a sister, I'm not a mom, but saying whatever you want to say that makes you feel good. And then a few physical techniques would be going for a walk, or doing self-massage, or eating better, or eating in ways that make you feel better. So the technique that I will go over now is called grounding. So this will be a little interactive. I'd like you to look around the room you're in right now and pick any object that you can see. So I'll give you a second, find your object. It could be close, it could be far. So I found my iced coffee, my Trader Joe's instant coffee that I made this morning. And so now we're going to use all 5 of our senses for grounding. So if you feel yourself overwhelmed, maybe your thoughts are spiraling out of control, you came off of a stressful meeting, or you're going into a stressful meeting, this technique helps you zoom in and just calm your mind down, because you're not thinking about those other things. You're just thinking about this one object. So take a look at your object using sight and see what it looks like. Look at the shape. Maybe do you notice different colors? If you're looking at your desk, is it big? Is it small? You're looking at your item. Now using our sense of touch, go ahead and feel your object. Maybe notice the textures. Notice the temperature. Is it cold? Is it hot? Is it like condensating, like my coffee, or is it warm to the touch? And now using sound, if you were to move it, would it rattle? If you have ice, or maybe the straw hitting the side of your tumbler, whatever you have, what does it sound like? And then using sense of smell. If what coffee smells like, so you can smell your coffee, you can smell your water, but like your desk, if it's wood kind of has that kind of scent to it, you know what I'm talking about? Or it could be like, if it's a metal water bottle, it could be metallic-y if you were to smell it. And then lastly, can you taste it? So taste your coffee, taste your water. I always like to end on that one, because you can't always taste what the object that you're zooming in on. And that's just a simple technique to stop the negative thoughts, negative feelings and emotions, and focus on something that is 100% within your control right here in the present moment. And then you can get back to whatever you're doing, and that might help you feel a little better. And the other technique I would walk you through is called alternate nostril breathing. So this is a physical technique you can do. And someone has mentioned in the past too, sometimes breathing can be stressful for people, depending on your past experiences, or if you have some sort of disorder that it makes it harder to breathe for you. So definitely do this at your own risk. You're just breathing, but if you find this to be stressful, just feel free to mute the sound, and when to change the slide, you can come back into it. So for alternate nostril breathing, you can use 2 fingers. I'm going to use my thumb and my pinky. Now it doesn't matter which side you start on. So I'm going to take my thumb and I'm going to plug my right nostril, and I'm going to breathe in through my left. And I'm going to switch, take my pinky, plug my left nostril, open up my right, and I'm going to exhale out the right. Now stay here, breathe in through the right, and switch your plug, and then exhale, breathe out. Now you can do this, continue doing this, breathing in through the one side, switch your plug, and breathe out through the other side. Do this a few more times on your own. I'll let you move at your own pace. Take a few more breaths. Try to relax your shoulders. Awesome job. And when you're ready, go ahead and stop. Perfect. So if that's the first time you've done that exercise, I know the first time I did it, I was congested, so it didn't go very well. So maybe try a time when you're not congested. But sometimes that can make you feel dizzy or lightheaded because you're getting your oxygen in a different way. And that can really help train your nose, I guess, to breathe more through your nose, especially if you have trouble sleeping. It's encouraged to sleep through your nose at night. And so this helps encourage nostril breathing as well. And it's just another technique, a way to truly focus on slowing down your heart rate, slowing down your breathing rate, and not trying to actively lengthen your breath or actively shorten your breath. You're just breathing normally. And that time that you're switching really helps to pause, and you're sort of holding your breath at the top without realizing hold. It gives you that time to calm down and switch. So our next thing I wanted to highlight here are just additional tools. Actually, Amanda has a technique that she is going to go over. I forgot about that. Sorry.
No, that's just fine. I could have hopped on later too. A couple things. These aren't necessarily exercises, but they're rocks. I just learned about these recently through an energy healer that I actually took my son to. He is 8 years old and suffers from anxiety. And so I've just been looking for different tools for him as well, and something that I can use at home too. So these are meant somewhat to use for grounding, which Anna walked us through, and for meditation. But there's certain rocks, there's rock stores that you can go to. This is where we got these, that are really meant to just help calm yourself down. If you can hold them, we do these with some meditation music playing as we simply just lay and breathe, which are some of the tools we've done. But it has been such great self-care for myself and for my son. So if you guys have kids, maybe this is a tool. It just gives them something. He feels safe when he's holding these, and he likes that they're soft. But this one right here, you can't really see it, but it's called selenite. And in this, there's actually the minerals that are in anti-anxiety medications. And so just by holding these and rubbing these, you're able to get some of those minerals into your stream. And then this one is Lumerian. This is a calming stone. So again, they're not like a fix for anything, but it's just been a really nice tool for us to include in our house for self-care.
And something tactile and tangible that you can see and realize. And when you're holding those rocks, then you come back to those positive feelings and emotions.
Yep. And especially for kids, having something tactile is huge.
So highlighting a few additional tools, we will be sharing the recording and the slide deck to our Yammer community afterwards. So you'll be able to access all of these links. I just wanted to highlight a few other ways that you can engage in self-care. We have Outlook invites for guided meditations, YouTube live streams, and flex breaks, which are stretch breaks. There's a live offering every single day that you can join into. So you'll be able to click on that link, and it takes you to our Yammer community, and it takes you to the files tab where you can download those invites and add them to your calendar, probably similar to how you found the invite for this webinar. And then another thing that we're working on lately is we have a weekly well-being check-in, and I post a short tip video. They're less than 1 minute most of the time. And each week on Wednesdays, I post this to our Yammer community, and they're also uploaded to our YouTube playlist, Mental Wellbeing. And it's small, simple tips that you can implement right away. So this week is reflect joy was the tip for this week, and noticing other people's happiness and seeing if you can let their happiness reflect onto you. Last week was gratitude. So it's just small, tangible things that you can work on right away. And then our Yammer community is an awesome tool. I'm pretty sure how most people found the invite. You're already on the Yammer community, but we post almost every single day, programs, resources, tips, webinars you can attend. So continue to stay engaged in that. And then on Healthier Together, the Virgin Pulse site, under programs, there's a program called Will, and it's a digital mindfulness tool. And there's so many great programs on resiliency, emotional intelligence, yoga, mindfulness. I mean, there's so many different topics, and they're great sessions to run through, and it's all done on the Will app. And then lastly, we have a global mindfulness challenge coming up. So if you want some more accountability or ways to engage, be sure to register for that. It's May 3rd to May 14th, and you can register on Healthier Together. So next, Amanda will go through another activity.
All right, guys, so this is where I need you to wake up a little bit. Don't worry, you don't need to share your screens. I don't need to see you, but this is a really fun exercise and extremely eye-opening. So as we're going to do this as a group, I suggest that you take this offline and do it personally with yourself. You can do it for work, you can do it for home life, you can do it for your personal life. It doesn't matter. This is an awesome assessment 101 of your self-care. So when we talk about a bucket, we think about if you fill up a bucket, if you got water and you're pouring it into the bucket, you're pouring something good, it wants the water, it sits in there, it's full. However, we can empty it and then we dump it out, right? So that's what we want to think about our lives as an emotional bucket. We can fill our bucket, our soul, with good things, but then if some of the bad stuff comes in, and it can drain it and we can dip it out. And no one can run off of an empty bucket. We need ourselves internally to be fueled all the time. And this can change from different seasons and, experiences that we're living in. But it's really good to know what things drain us, what things fill us up. And then with that, we're going to have some drips. So if you think about a bucket that might have a little bit of holes in the bottom and you got some drainage coming out, that is life, right? We are always going to have some things that are out of our control that are maybe just going to drip out. We need to save some of our energy for those things, but maybe it's out of our control. So right now, if you guys go to view options at the top of your screen and click on annotate, and if you click on the text button, we're going to fill out some things just as you think of what things drain you, what things take out your energy. Is it running to 800 sports activities for your kids? Is it, could be some of your job duties that drain you, anything that you can think of that just sucks out your energy. Or maybe there's that one friend. Yes, teenagers. I have toddlers. Oh, yes. Kids fighting back, yard work, being too busy to take a lunch. So good. Toxic friends. Yes. Negative thoughts from others. I call them joy suckers. Oh, these are so good, you guys. Crabby people. Housework. Can that just go away? Sassy kids fighting. Maybe we need to have a sub-call for all of us that have kids so we can help tackle that. Kitty litter, house maintenance. Fire season, yes. These are good, guys. I'm trying to move this so I can see more. Does that say silly demands? This is good. Awesome. So again, lack of boundaries. Amen.
Now, leaders not understanding your team or understanding your group.
So good. Unrealistic expectations. Absolutely. Again, as you think of these, it is so important. you know, and a little bit better when you do it personally, that you'll kind of be doing it in columns. But just for now, this is so great. Zoom happy hours. You must be digitally drained, just like I am. Negative social media. Oh gosh, you guys, you are hitting these on the head. All right, so we're gonna just shift off of this a little bit, but thank you for filling this out. So next, we're just gonna go into the drains, or like, let's call these the drips. So these are maybe the things that take out a little bit of energy from you, but they're not completely life-sucking. Think of these as, if you own a home, you're gonna have rent every month. So maybe that, or you know, your mortgage payment. So something that's just still there just because of what you have. I'm still changing diapers because I have a 2-year-old. Something that's, you know, kind of annoying at times, but nothing really I can control. I guess I could potty train him now, but it is what it is. Doing my expenses, laundry, yes. Taking out the weeds in the garden. Oh, I'll tell you, I don't like doing that because I'm deathly afraid of snakes, and we have snakes in my little garden. So I don't weed. Oh, cooking and dishes. Yes. Making the bed. Receiving opinions I did not ask for. Very, very good.
And if you can't figure out how to make the annotation work, feel free to post in the chat as well. Sometimes
Yes.
it's confusing.
Some of your weekly meetings might be dripping you. Too many noisy questions. Bills. Good. I always found that these drips are kind of the hardest ones to figure out as you're kind of laying out your drains, what truly is draining you versus just some of the things that are constantly there. Seriously, laundry, ditto. I need an organizational system over at my house. Maybe then I'll like it a little bit more.
If you agree with a particular thing that someone has listed, you can also click on the stamp and you can stamp a check mark next to it if you want to highlight something that someone else wrote.
Taxes, yeah. Love these. Good
Thank
job,
you for the
guys.
participation. This is so cool to see.
I think this is hopefully this is giving you some ideas too of some of the things if you do go on to do this by yourself, because these are some great things that maybe you don't even think about, that you're like, oh yeah, I don't really like to do that, but sometimes it's just part of our responsibility too. All right, so let's move on to the last one. So we had your drains. We talked about some of the drips, and now let's talk about what fills your bucket. What makes you feel good? What makes you feel energized? Helping people, yes. Family, sunshine, exercise, spending time with family, dancing, time with my sister. Fridays, the weekends, hugs, hugs, hugs. Vacations, love and gratitude, dancing. Good, Lauren. I'm glad this is making you feel good, just listing this out. Feng Shui, Tai Chi, nature, 30-second hug. For all of the huggers out there, this has been an extra tough year for us. Worship, dance, sweat mode, walking, cooking. See, okay, isn't this funny? Cooking is on here on somebody's filler, but it was on somebody's drainer. Finishing a project, good health, coffee, yes. Music, affirmations, church. This is so good, you guys. A Peloton. I love, love this one right here of filling out the things that you enjoy. But what's crazy is when we are in times of high stress and anxiety creeping in and fear creeping in, for some people, this list can sometimes be the hardest one to fill out because you forget about what things fill your bucket because you're so drained and so empty. I love this. Keep writing it in. I'm going to tell you one more thing about the fillers, the bucket fillers. When you do this on your own, and I really hope and pray that you guys do this on your own because it's fun as a group, but it is very introspective when you do this alone, because step 2 of this exercise, so we talked about the drains, the drips, and the fillers. The second step is going back to your filler list, which this list is, taking a highlighter and going back through and highlighting the things that you are physically doing. What happens is that is the aha moment, the eye-opening experience that so many people say, wow, now I understand why I feel this way. Because I listed off 10 things that fill my bucket, and currently I am doing 1, maybe 2, maybe 0. I mean, especially over this last year, you guys, so many of the things, of the bucket filling things that are on there were just gone because they had to be for what our circumstances have been. And so we have to find these ways to fill up this bucket. One of my bucket fillers is going to work and seeing people. You know, pre all of this, I got to go to work and see Anna every day. You know, we got to talk about life every single day. We could go walk down to Caribou. We could, you know, you're walking to the printer and you're running into people in the hallways, and all of those things are extreme bucket fillers for me. But when they get ripped away and it's really out of your control, I mean, my bucket for so many things just got dumped. It got dumped on. And it's like, how do you do this? How do you go back and refill it? So maybe that's when you know that this is a time to redo this exercise. Or maybe you need to say, okay, you know, mom timeout is important with me. What friend can I actually go call today to go and get that done? If cooking is a bucket filler and you can say to yourself, wow, I haven't cooked in like 5 weeks. Guess what? That's a aha that you can go to the grocery store that day and go make a homemade meal for your family. So I love this exercise. I could preach on it. I will do one-on-one sessions with you if you want on that. I am just such a firm believer in knowing yourself, knowing your bucket, and how we can better fix it. Thank you for participating.
So if anyone would like to share in the chat, or if you want to unmute yourself, we're almost out of time here. So if you want to share things that you learned or things that you took away, maybe that were shocking to you to learn about, feel free to post that in the chat now or unmute yourself.
Hello, I'm Christophe from France. So I think I'm the only person from Europe, I think. Well, I just want to share this. Thank you very much. I was a little late because I have so many calls. So this one taking out my energies, as you said. So this is one of the things, but I love that because I thought I was quite only the only one, you know, in my team to have this kind of connection, energy. So I see that other people can have too. Also, thank you for sharing this and share with the whole other people. And I think this is very important, specifically on that moment that we are living. So, and as you said, with the COVID, and I think we centralize in what is essential for us in life. So yeah, thank you. And all the exercise is really to be conscious, you know, in the present time than thinking something over. So thank you for that. And as I wrote, I am a master feng shui. So, you know, I'm doing a lot of expertise in the house to help people gain back energies. So that's why this can help also when you are too tired, etc. Around how you set your home will bring you also a little help for re-energizing yourself and the environment for the kids, for everyone. So yes, more than happy to share that too if you want. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. And we'll try to get to some of the comments. I just want to highlight next month on May 20th, I'll be leading a seminar on food and mental health. It is World Mental Health Awareness Month, I believe, something along those lines. And so I'll be highlighting some foods you can eat to help be more anti-inflammatory and just to feel better overall. So that'll be May 20th. Once again, I'll post the invite to Yammer the same way this was with the announcement. So you'll be able to find the invite there. Would anyone like to share before we go?
I did see on there that, I think it was you, Heidi, that suggested that we do these more. So thank you so much. And just know that that is what our team is here for. So as Anna said, another one's coming up in May. We are going to do these monthly. So if there are topics that you guys want to hear about, please let us know, because we don't have it planned out for the whole year, because we kind of just want to see what's coming in and what you guys want from us. So please let us know and we'd be happy to talk about it. I think that is it. So thank you. A couple of you I saw in the comments, I will private message you for some of those questions, but thank you so much. Thank you for taking the time for your own self and your self-care today. You guys were great at playing along with us, and I hope that you learned something and can take it with you the rest of the day and forever.
Thank you,
Have an awesome
everybody.
day.
Thank
Yes,
you guys.
merci.
Thank you so
Have a good
much.
day, everyone.
Amanda and Laura, you guys going to stick around?
Yeah, I was just gonna stay on
Okay.
for a
Okay. Thanks, Jean.
Oh yeah, Jean. Oh, I miss my friends. Oh, you're still here. You heard me. Yes, Laura, that's when I got that question too from someone else. So I was, thanks.
Oh, wonderful.
Jean,
I
this
was
is my natural hair.
wondering-
I've gotten lazy. I don't blow dry it anymore.
I think there's a lot of things that I don't do anymore that I used to do.
Yeah. Constantly wear sweatpants. That's all I do.
Yes.
Okay, I just went ahead and removed the last 6, 7 people.
Okay,
Okay, perfect.
cool. Well, that was some really